Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a massive, fundamental shift in how we interact with our own biology and honestly, our entire healthcare system. We're talking about the incredibly exciting and, admittedly complex idea of using artificial intelligence for self-service healthcare. Now look, I know that sounds a bit like science fiction, but it is happening right now. So let's jump right into it. 44%. According to a recent study highlighted by UC Davis Health CEO Dr. David Lubarsky, 44% of young adults, we're talking the 18 to 34 demographic here, believe that by using the internet and ChatGPT, they can understand a disease process just as well as their actual doctor. Just let that sink in for a second. Almost half of young adults essentially think a chatbot puts them on a level playing field with a trained medical professional.
Well, that brings us to a very blunt but highly necessary reality check from Dr. Lubarsky himself. His response to that stat? No, it's not true. And honestly, it is a little scary to think about folks relying entirely on a chatbot to make complex medical decisions, right? But that quote perfectly captures the central tension we're unpacking today. Yes, we're rapidly moving toward a future where patients want to master medical topics quickly and be true partners in their care. But generative AI, it's not a medical degree. It's a tool, and like literally any tool, it has boundaries.
So to map this all out safely, here is our agenda. We're covering the self-service health era, personalizing your medical journey, beware of AI hallucinations, vetting AI medical information, and finally, why humans remain in charge.
Okay, Section 1, the self-service health era.
You know, patient expectations are just completely evolving. We aren't really satisfied with just sitting there and being told what to do anymore. We want to understand our health, manage it, and take the wheel. I mean, think about the last time you actually called a human travel agent to book a flight. If you're anything like me, you probably can't even remember. We are entirely used to self-service when it comes to travel, banking, buying groceries. It's all computerized, organized, and catered to us. And now, patients are expecting that exact same autonomy in healthcare. Self-identifying a problem, self-triage, self-treatment, it's fast becoming the norm. The demand is absolutely there. The trick is making sure the care you get through these new self-service channels actually stays medically sound.
Moving right along to Section 2, personalizing your medical journey.
When we say self-service, what we really mean is that we want care tailored specifically to us. And AI is the engine that can actually deliver that true personalization. It's kind of like when you buy a book on Amazon. Algorithms immediately run in the background, connect the dots, and suggest a reading lamp that goes perfectly with your new book, right? It looks at your past data to predict a future need. Well, AI in healthcare applies that exact same foundational logic. Imagine an AI that seamlessly organizes your past health decisions, previous illnesses, and every historical lab result, stuff that takes a human doctor hours to sift through. The AI can confidently map out your highly personalized next steps for wellness. It essentially packages your medical history so you never miss a beat.
But it's way more than just dusting off old lab results. Take a look at this number, 24,000. That is the massive volume of daily data points generated for a single patient by some of today's advanced remote monitoring tools. If a monitor is tracking 16 different vital signs every single minute, you're looking at roughly 24,000 data points in a 24-hour window. A human brain literally cannot process that level of minute-by-minute fluctuation. We're just not built for it.
But here's the magic. AI is basically purpose-built for this. Did you know 2/3 of patients actually want their doctors to use the data from their Apple Watches or Fitbits? They want them to know how well they slept or how much they tossed and turned. But your doctor doesn't have the time to sit there and parse raw wearable data. AI, on the other hand, can instantly analyze those complex sleep patterns and flag your doctor. It can give them a little nudge and say, hey, your patient isn't sleeping through the night anymore. You might want to ask them about anxiety, alcohol intake, or maybe new allergies. The AI isn't making the final diagnosis, it's simply teeing up highly personalized attention from your human doctor.
All right, Section 3, beware of AI hallucinations.
Now, we absolutely cannot talk about the wonders of this tech without taking a hard look at the hidden dangers. Generative AI is incredibly easy to use, honestly almost dangerously easy, and it carries severe risks if you're blindly relying on it for your health. Which brings us to a crucial term you need to know. AI hallucinations. These are fake, entirely fabricated responses generated by a large language model. See, these bots aren't actually thinking. They're just predicting the next logical word in a sentence based on massive amounts of training data. And sometimes, they confidently string together words that sound completely authoritative but are factually 100% false. This is exactly why a chatbot cannot be your sole source for serious medical advice.
To put this into perspective, Dennis Jornicki, a former White House AI advisor, shared a really alarming story. He basically asked ChatGPT if there were any recent clinical trials happening for a very specific medical issue. The AI fired right back. Oh yes, there are 4 ongoing trials, and gave him all the detailed summaries. But when he actually went to look them up, none of them existed. 0. The AI had completely hallucinated 4 fake clinical trials by mixing and matching unrelated data from 12 completely different real trials and handed him perfectly formatted, totally bogus results. That right there is the very real danger of the technology today.
Which leads us directly into Section 4, Vetting AI Medical Information. If we are going to navigate this new era safely, we need some serious guardrails. So here are your actionable steps for responsibly using AI health tools. Number 1. Whenever possible, rely only on vetted databases. Major healthcare providers are already building systems where their AI only searches verified medical records, not the wild west of the open internet. Number 2, double-check everything. Assume a hallucination is possible. Never, ever take a chatbot's medical advice at face value. And number 3, utilize references. As these AI models get better, they are starting to provide specific citations. You've got to do the legwork to click those links and verify the source actually says what the AI claims it says.
Now, it's not all squarely on our shoulders. Regulators are stepping up too. The regulatory environment is shifting fast. The White House actually issued an AI executive order specifically aimed at protecting consumers and patients. We're also seeing a big push for watermarking AI-generated content so you always know right away if you're talking to a bot or a real human. On top of that, federal agencies are being mandated to set up AI governance boards to keep an eye on safety and ethics. It's all about striking that tricky balance, allowing this incredible innovation to happen while fiercely protecting the public.
And finally, Section 5, Why Humans Remain in Charge.
This right here is probably the most crucial concept of the whole explainer. We really need to reframe how we view the relationship between AI and human doctors. Think of it like this. AI is for pattern identification. It can scan 24,000 vital sign data points in a microsecond and spot a tiny anomaly. It can read 10 years of your lab history in a blink. But humans? Humans provide judgment and nuance. An AI simply does not understand human preference. It doesn't get that an aggressive treatment might extend a life, but completely ruin the quality of that life. Navigating those highly personal, emotional trade-offs, that requires empathy, that requires a human being. AI spots the trends. Humans navigate the soul of the treatment.
And this is exactly why UC Davis Health formally wrote a rule into their medical staff bylaws stating that providers cannot and will not cede their medical judgment to the internet or to AI. Going back to Dr. Lubarsky, he hit the nail on the head. It's about giving your doctor and your nurse more tools to make better decisions for the patient. At the end of the day, doctors and nurses are always going to be the final authority. They are your true guiding partners in this process.
So, if you remember just one thing from this explainer, let it be this phrase: augmented, not artificial. AI is a tool to empower the people caring for you. Right now, doctors and nurses spend up to half their day acting as glorified typists, just staring at screens, filling out electronic records. It causes massive burnout. AI can eliminate all that busy work. It can literally remove the electronic wall between you and your provider. Imagine sitting in the exam room and your doctor is actually looking at you, talking to you, using their deep human expertise, completely augmented by the insane data processing power of a machine in the background. That's the goal.
And that wraps up our explainer for today. But before you go, I want to leave you with a question to chew on. How will you use AI to augment, not replace, your next doctor's visit? You've got the tools now. You know how to safely vet information, spot hallucinations, and harness this tech to understand your body better. Next time you walk into that doctor's office, you won't be looking for them to magically fix you from scratch. You'll be ready to jump in as a highly informed, active partner. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive. Keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.